You mentioned demotion. That's kind of the last spot now open on Nebraska's staff is that special team spot after Ed Foley
Yeah.
gets kind of shuffled through there. What's your guys' sense of where that search is right now? And maybe just generally, what is the kind of person, maybe what kind of background is Nebraska looking to bring in to lead special teams, which, let's face it, has really held the Huskers back for the better part of a decade now?
Good question. Experience, obviously, at the big time level. I think energy. Matt Rule has got his hands on special teams, but he doesn't coach special teams. He doesn't coach offense. He doesn't coach defense. They have to, every group has their leader, and somebody with energy, somebody who's going to be able to talk every starter on the team and to play special teams. Get the best of the best on there. So, um, I'm make it worth their while. Tell them that sell to them that this is important and it's going to help us winning. So, there's I'm not going to say a lot of guys out there, but there certainly are uh, uh, special teams guys who make a big difference. So it's it's a big job. It's as important as offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. It really is. Because you're not going to win Big Ten without it. You're not going to go to the playoff without it. So yeah, I don't have names, but they're out there.
I'm curious, Tom, what you had a good conversation with Bill Bush, and a lot of people read that. Did you get a sense that he would be, he would listen if the call was made?
Oh, he would do it, but he doesn't think the call is going to be made, and he's okay with that. He totally understands it. So, um, he says Matt Rule knows what he wants. He didn't tell me what he thought that was, but he's there's a he's Bill Bush is from the line of he's a disciple of the Frank Gans school of special teams. Frank Gans was long time successful special teams coach in the NFL. Um, he was the head coach of the Chiefs for a couple of years before Marty Schottenheimer. Um, didn't last long, but he's coached special teams everywhere, and so there's a way to do it. And I think uh, Bill Bush, people love their Huskers. They want a Husker guy. Well, there's other guys out there who can do it besides a Husker guy, but um, I guess Mike Eckler is one of them,
What do you
a
think of
former
him?
Husker coach.
What do you remember about Mike Eckler at Nebraska?
That he came out of that breakfast, and spilled the beans, and said, "We're going to kick Missouri's butt. We have the perfect game plan," and then Missouri just killed him, and then
Thank
they
you.
laughed about it. It was just like, ah, yeah, don't come on, no, you got people fired up saying we have the perfect game plan. Well, yeah, anyway, but he's a great guy and was just full of energy and optimism, and but that's what you need as a special teams coach, somebody to get people fired up. It's not a cheerleader job, but it's an energy job. It's you want in a lot of ways like a defensive coordinator is trying to get guys to go after the ball. Swarm tackle, go after the ball, chase the ball carrier. The special teams is a lot like that, where you're on a mission. You're trying to get that thing down, and when it's your turn, you're trying to block and create a lane. I'd like to see just the big plays return to special teams for Nebraska. Uh, meaningful punt returns. block punts, um, things like that. The fakes are okay, but the fakes don't work very often. But the other stuff works a lot, and it's harder to get kick returns, it seems. But whatever happened to the punt return, they still give out an award in Omaha every spring for the best punt returner. So the somebody must be doing it. But
Yeah.
Nebraska's hadn't been doing it. So
Iowa's guy won it.
yeah, there you go.
Mike Eckler makes $575,000 at Tennessee. Typically, the way that works is you got to offer more if they wanted to get Mike Eckler. He has done a really good job at Tennessee with special teams. He has. I don't know if he's willing to want to get back this way. I do feel like he's grown. I think I think he was a good coach in Nebraska. I think he's probably grown as a coach since then. He's been in a number of spots.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there were times when the energy on the sidelines. I'd heard stories about Bo and Carl has been like, tone it down a little, just a little. And Bo and Carl were, off the charts. So I think that's probably changed. I think Eckler's done an incredible job down there. I mean, there's you can't even say he hasn't. Another name is Carlos Polk, former Nebraska linebacker in the 90s. He's been a special teams coach for a very long time in the NFL, and he is currently working with the Bears. So a guy that played in the late 90s, um, good leader, uh, rah-rah guy when he was a player. Uh, I'm sure would love to get back to Nebraska. That's a name that I've thought of too. But there's a lot of different guys you can hire. Um, I think maybe the end of this week. No, maybe not the end of this week. Maybe next week. I think you might see a name. It could be the end of this week though.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting. Like, because I also could see Nebraska hiring a younger guy or somebody from a smaller school potentially, uh, just based on what Matt Rule looks for in coaches
Yeah,
and identifies guys that way. Um,
for sure.
Also, of note, they're also adding a new snapper, a new punter, a new returner. Andrew Marshall seems to be maybe the clubhouse leader for like possible dynamic guy as a return man. He certainly was at Idaho, so we'll see how that turns out as well.